Greetings all, this is Matthew from Jefferson State Air Rifles, and today I wanted to go through the installation of the Benjamin Marauder Pistol, or the P-Rod AR stock adapter. So the P-Rod AR stock adapter looks like this, and I have removed the pistol grip because it was not a standard factory pistol grip and it was pretty thick. I wouldn't need to do that, but if you want to, it's just a flathead screw on either side. But if you had a standard 90-degree Allen tool 9/64, you could get to this bottom screw here. But since I have T-handles, this will make my life easier to have that thick grip removed. And then I'm actually going to go ahead and replace this, even though there's pressure in the system. There's about 1100 psi in this pistol right now. But we're not working in the pressure zone, so we're working all at atmosphere pressure out here in the spring compartment. But either way, be careful. You certainly don't want to remove screws that are holding the valve in place and injure or do more than that. So I'm going to start off by taking a 3/32 Allen drive and removing these two rear breech screws. So those can set aside for a moment, and then I'm going to make my life a little bit easier by taking a 3/16 and backing this spring tension off. Well, I guess I'd already done it. So I've got that spring tension backed all the way off. And then, with a 9/64, I'm going to remove this third and final screw holding in the plug. And I'm going to hold the plug because there's still going to be some preload on that hammer spring. So I'm going to remove this screw, and you can see that there's still spring tension in there. So I'm going to remove the factory plug, and I'm also going to take the 3/16 and run that spring guide and adjuster screw and the spring out of the factory plug. Set that to the side and run it into the new one. I'm going to go ahead and back this in. You could screw it in front ways from the back if you wanted to. Be careful not to cross thread. And again, I'm going to back this way in there. And this set screw on the bottom is it's back enough right now, but if it were too far in, that would interfere, so I'd just have to take a 5/64 and back that up a little bit. And so I can install this. And again, I'm going to back the spring tension way off just to make my life easier when I go to reinstall. Now then, I mentioned that this is on the bottom. And you can see that there's two screw holes that are threaded all the way through for these breech screws. And you can see that from the top there's a counter bore, so that counter bore helps this screw meet a nice flat surface to start on. It would be possible, if you mounted it the other way, it would be possible to get these started, but it's going to be trickier. So you want those counter bore holes facing up, and you want this set screw down so that as we reinstall, you want that set screw down so that it doesn't get buried underneath the charge handle. And I'm going to go ahead and reinsert the back breech screws, and I'm going to rotate this until that fell into the counter bore holes. So now I know they're in location. This is oriented correctly, and I want to send these down. And I've found with this particular P-Rod that if I over tighten these at all, it makes this really hard to charge the handle. And so this one, I'd probably do better if I put a light Loctite on these, just so they don't move, but they're also not over tight. And then with a 9/64, I'm going to reinstall this back plug or back screw into the plug, the And since this is a little bit bigger screw, it's going to hold some more force for us. So I'm going to go ahead and tighten this one, you know, German spec, good and tight. Sorry, I don't have a torque for you, but I'm just going to have it bottom out and give it a little bit. I'm not going to grip and rip that either. Now then, it'd be time to head back to the chronograph, and with our 3/16 we'd adjust our spring tension back in until we achieve the spring tension and velocity that we are searching for. And once we have that to our liking, we'd take the 5/64 and tighten in this set screw just so that that adjustment won't ever change on us as we fire it again and again. And then with any standard AR-15 buffer tube and shoulder stock, we just thread it in and we are ready to rumble. Hope that helps, and safe shooting out there. Thanks, guys.